Welcome to Illuminati Silver. We tell you the truth about silver. Today is Sunday the 19th of August 2018, and we are, slightly light-heartedly, but with a serious underlying message, highlighting the main sources of information about gold and silver available on the internet today, organizing them into categories and our opinions of them. We hope you enjoy. It was interesting over the past week to view the headlines of other YouTube gold and silver gurus and commentators as prices plunged. For example, KidCo News asked, quote, "Is the pain over for gold investors?" unquote. Another of its videos stated, quote, "Gold abandoned by world's top mutual fund. Frank Holmes says rebound is still possible," unquote. Other, less professional but well-meaning sites quoted, "Now is the time to buy. Stock up before it's too late." Others tell you not to worry. Recovery is just around the corner when prices will skyrocket. Well, to be frank, we ourselves have said that we expect both gold and silver prices to be higher at the end of the year than they are now, but not particularly that much higher. And we are certainly not expecting a rip-roaring surge. In fact, some of our subscribers believe that prices still have some distance to fall. And to be fair to them, it cannot be totally ruled out. So let's perhaps iron out some of this conflicting advice. We have provided 5 main categories of YouTube precious metal advisors and gurus. Firstly, we have what we call the genuine stackers, who present YouTube videos to share their passion. We like to watch these as their enthusiasm for the subject can be infectious. But a word of caution. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them, have little or no real-world experience in finance, investments, mining, treasury operations, or trading, and so are merely expressing either a gut feeling or the advice they have perhaps themselves read on a blog or seen on YouTube. Now, there is nothing wrong with watching these, but please bear in mind that most of them carry out no analysis or a very primitive form, and therefore should be looked upon as either entertainment or providing useful information as to the latest available silver or gold coins and bars. Secondly, we have the KidCo News of this world, who, although have a vested interest in the rise of gold and silver, in fairness, with the very able assistance of an attractive presenter called Daniela Cambone, presents to the viewers those people involved in the gold and silver space, their opinions and forecasts. By definition, we have to remember here that the people she interviews are generally either the miners themselves or mine owners, who will always talk up their book, or are comics traders and day traders whose opinions are valid but generally aim short-term and not necessarily useful for the stacking community. 1 or 2 exceptions we grant, but very few. Thirdly, we have the David Morgans of this world, who in fairness are very plausible and somber, and David in particular has made his life's work essentially following and supporting silver and other precious metals. In fact, he has written a number of books on the subject. Now, he is less flamboyant than the pumpers whom we come on to next, but unfortunately for David, again since 2011, has got most of his forecasts wrong, and by a wide margin. He is very knowledgeable, of that we do not question, but we feel he has to some extent become so consumed by his passion that he cannot see the wood for the trees, and perhaps spends too much time in the company of those who have a vested interest in seeing gold and silver prices rise, and is subliminally hypnotized by them. Even as late as the 1st of March 2018, he was making the case for $10,000 gold and $500 silver. Our immediate comment is that for that to happen, either 15 to 20 years has to pass, or the dollar has collapsed, and those prices should enable you to purchase a quality suit or a decent meal. Fourthly, you have the pumpers, the Mike Maloneys and Peter Schiffs of this world. They own gold and silver companies that trade in precious metals. They make the majority of their living trading gold and silver. So frankly, their advice will always be, quote, buy now before it's too late. Economic Armageddon is just around the corner. It doesn't matter how much you pay because the dollar will soon be worthless. Better a year early than a day late, unquote. Does this resonate with you? Well, we can tell you. It certainly resonates with those who have lost a fortune since 2011 and have been forced to sell their holdings because they overcommitted their finances to filling the cart based on the expectation of an imminent rise in prices. These individuals are, in our view, just enriching themselves by misleading their followers. They are certainly clever and certainly knowledgeable, and probably, over the very long term, believe what they say. But short term to medium term, do incredible damage to people's wealth. Fifthly, we have what we call the Crazies. You've seen them. You've heard them. The ones who are often interviewed on USA Watchdog, who have for the past 10 years declared economic oblivion anytime soon. $100,000 gold, $10,000 silver, and in Bixweir's case, $100,000 silver an ounce. All of the conspiracy theorists who have found a home on USA Watchdog, which incidentally is quite a nice program to watch, but not too often, and who appear on King's World News and occasionally on Alex Jones' InfoWars. Well, all we can say is that if you have followed these guys, then frankly, if you are not in the poorhouse already, then you are probably sitting on vast hoards of gold and silver bought at incredibly high prices and praying to your God that you will live long enough to see a profit. And last but not least, there is us, Illuminati Silver. And what can we say? Well, actually, we will say nothing, as we are biased, and we let you draw your own conclusions. We hope you have found this video interesting and informative, and if so, please give it a thumbs up and share it on Twitter. Please ensure that you have subscribed to our channel and press the bell sign so that you are notified of any future videos. Also, kindly visit our website at illuminatisilver.com, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe as a free member for regular email updates and offers. Disclaimer: Illuminati Silver owners come from a background of banking, international wealth management and economics. Having now retired from these worlds, we are not qualified to give investment advice. Therefore, this and other productions must not be deemed to be giving such advice and merely represent the personal views of its owners.